here, 40-point game there. How are we downplaying somebody's pen? At the
I
end
have,
of the day, you have
Because
the
the
right
pen
to
isn't all
battle
that goes
I
rap.
have a
into it.
slight question. Can I ask you a question, sir? Respectfully.
Like, how are you? What do you? How? Yeah, of course you could 40. Like,
This
you
has
have to
nothing to do with
write these
Dalen and stuff, but
rounds
I've heard you made the same argument for Jazz when people are asking why you consider her the top tier. She doesn't come outside as most other people who are moving as much, and you make the counter offer. You make the counter argument for your friends. So I'm just trying to figure out how that works.
now. Ask me, is Daylight top tier?
No. This ain't about him. I'm just saying, like the argument that you're making. It seems like
And I'm
I just
about to
want to
pull
make
you.
sure it
And I'm
makes
about to.
sense.
Okay, now what you asked
I
me
just want to
was,
make sure I'm
He
understanding it.
never
do you want me to
disputed
answer the
Daylight being
question, or are
God
you trying
tier.
to throw shade at Jazz?
No, I don't have to throw shade at Jess. See
You
the thing.
are. So let me
No,
answer the
no, no, no.
question.
No. Here's the thing. I'm talking about your argument about her being better than other females because she comes out and she does her thing, right? Once a year, she does her thing. But
My
you're
argument for
no.
Jazz.
Listen, don't make this about a
Why are
personal
you
thing with
telling me
Jazz.
to
I'm
listen? But you said ask.
because
You
you.
said let me
I
ask a
just want to
question.
make sure that you don't have this
This how I
personality
know
because it seems like
motherfuckers
you're
just
making
don't
it
like
about
y'all.
Jazz.
Chicks
I'm
really
talking
don't
about your
like
argument
Jazz.
that you make,
You
huh?
asked me a question already. When you gonna let me answer it? You asked it already. I already
Oh,
heard the
because
question.
I was gonna let you answer it till you had it fucked up and you said that I was making a person
Because
about
y'all
Jazz.
be
I wanted to make
shading
sure
her
you
and
haven't
don't like her,
misconstrued,
but that's two different things.
huh?
It's two different things. You asked me this. You said because I'm a very good listener. That's the
Mhm.
first thing. You
Mhm.
made
Mhm.
statements like, so how does that go when you're talking about your friend Jazz? Because
Mhm.
when people I can have an opinion. I
Mhm.
just think Jazz is better than them bitches.
And I'm not
And I
mad at
think
that.
she's
No, listen,
better
I'm
than
not
you
mad at that.
bitches.
I'm
And
talking.
women like you,
No,
she
no, no, no,
haunts
no,
you
no, no,
in
no,
your dreams.
no, no.
Every time you see
What?
her, you still see her in your sleep. That's why you'll
This
say
is how you
stuff like,
this is the problem. This is the
that's why
problem
you'll
with you.
say stuff
Because
like,
when someone
why
asks
does
you
Hey,
a
that
good,
matter
good
question,
for your
night. Good
when
night,
friend?
y'all.
when
I'm
someone
out.
questions about something that you backpedaled on, you want to take it to a certain level. I simply asked you a question about an argument that you've made about Jazz only having to come out once a year and being better than bitches. So you just made it extremely
No,
personal.
you're
No,
creating a
no, no, no.
narrative
That's what
though.
you did. That's what
You're
you did.
creating a
I
narrative.
simply asked you a question about the same argument I've
How
heard you
does that?
present.
It's
No, no,
not,
no.
but I'm
You're
trying
not
to tell
listening
you
to
why
me.
it's not the same argument though. Right
That's what
now,
I asked you for
we're lit,
clarification. I asked
we're
you, and then you
literally
try to
talking
be
about
funny. You try
we're
to be
literally
funny and make
talking
it
about
personal. I
Tay
asked you a
Rock's
question.
pen
You
versus
understand?
Daylight pen. And then 40 comes and says, how is so what's the difference when you're talking about you feeling like Jazz is better than bitches and she only comes out because I feel like Jazz is better than bitches and she only come out once a
That
year.
was, and I'm not. I don't care if
If
you feel like
somebody was
Jazz
to
is
say
better. There's
Daylight,
nothing
if
wrong with
Greedy
that.
was to
There's
say,
nothing wrong with you feeling Jazz is
if
better than you
Greedy
either. What
was
I
to
was
say,
asking is about an argument that I've heard you made on the spaces in
but it
regards
was
to
two
her
different
only having. No,
arguments,
no.
is what
Listen.
I'm saying to you.
Yo,
Okay,
If
no,
then
hold,
say
Greedy,
yeah,
that. Then
no,
say
no,
that.
yeah,
Why did you make
no.
it? No, hold on. Why did?
I ain't mean to do that right there. I wasn't trying to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say 40 Surf
No,
was
no, no.
never
I was not trying to.
disputing
No, he just
Daylight
made it
being God
personal. I
tier.
simply heard an
Exactly. I
argument
said he's
before.
got here multiple times.
So I'm not talking about.
If
I
Greedy
just said
would have
it's not
just
about him.
said,
I asked you
yo,
a question about an argument that I've heard you
if
present on
Greedy
the
would have
spaces, right?
said Daylight is God tier, I don't care how many times
This
he
is
come
why this
out.
is
I
so
would have
No,
said
corny,
you right.
can I
bro.
just
This is
say
why this
something?
is so
40,
corny. Because
40, can I just say something real
no,
quick?
I simply asked a question. He made it personal,
Yo,
like, oh, say that
Jazz is
Jazz.
amazing.
No,
No,
She's
no,
the
I
god.
listen.
no
Jazz
40.
is
I've never seen a
amazing.
No,
person get
40.
Jazz
hit
is
Hold
for
up.
eight
amazing,
for
and
the
I've never
40.
show.
taken that
For
from
being
It's
her.
my
good.
my
Trying to
fault
make it
because
seem
me and
like it's
Surf.
something it's not. All I
Nah, it
asked
was
was a
my fault.
question.
Me and Surf were already in a heated argument. I think that the answer to your question is what you said was a valid point,
All
but
I was
Surf
asking with
wasn't
Greedy, all I'm
yet.
saying is like I've heard other conversations like in the past, like different things like that. I just was saying like I know he's made a strong argument as far as like, yo, basically she doesn't have to come out that much. She's fire. She comes out, she does her thing, and she still makes an impact. Only asking what is the difference with the argument here. He just
So
made it like
so
it's a
Okay,
he
since
just
no.
made it like
Greedy's
it's
the
a
So the
fucking
mediator,
personal thing.
since
It's
Greedy's the
not that. Don't
mediator,
fucking do that.
Greedy, ask me a question. Greedy,
no,
ask
I
me.
can
Ask.
explain it to
Hold on,
her
Greedy.
real
Hold on,
simply,
Greedy.
Stop
Surf.
making
Ask
it
me.
seem like it
Ask me. Does
it's that
Jazz have the
serious. It's
best
not
pen?
that deep. Stop
Ask me.
making it
Does
seem
Jazz
like you're
have the best
mad.
pen in
Yo,
female
Surf.
battle rap? Hold on, Greedy. Hold on.
Does
Ask me.
Jazz have the best pen in female battle rap?
No, she does not.
And that was not
Now, wait,
listen,
wait,
Nah,
wait,
nigga,
wait.
40,
that was
40.
Let me
never
That's
finish.
the
the
only
fuck.
difference.
Hold
We
on
were
one
talking
second.
about
Let me
pens
finish.
and
I had to
skills
mute because
versus tier.
She's not gonna let us talk. So let me stop. Just hold on. Greedy. And the question that she just asked me when she brought up my friend Jazz, because I also pay attention to context and stuff like
My
that.
friend.
She didn't just say the battle rapper. She didn't just say Jazz. Like she act like we kids and we
It is your
stupid,
friend.
like we
So
not
why wouldn't I
adults.
mention that?
So she
It is
say
your
something
friend.
like
Did I
your
say
friend
that
Jazz.
bitch or
So
that bitch
what's
who can't rap? I said your friend. Stop
but
making
why are
it
you
seem
what's
like
the cursing
stop
for? And why you
because
sound so upset?
I'm gonna tell you why I'm upset. I'm upset because I feel like you twisted my question to make it personal. I
But
simply
we
was
all
asking. No,
hear
no,
you
no,
though.
no, no, no. I hear you. But I literally, whether I articulated the correct way or not, I literally was asking you because I've heard you make spaces. I've heard you make argument in spaces about, Jazz is fire. She doesn't need to come out. When she comes out, she does her thing. She's fire. I'm not arguing that.
Right.
I just was asking, what is the difference in the argument that you're making with this, with
Now
daylight
can I answer
necessarily
it?
coming out
After
every now
after
and
you
again
said
and not
that,
being as
after you
outside as
said
much as that's all it was. So let me
okay,
tell you,
so
and
after you
and
said
I'll be
what you're
quiet 2
asking, can I
seconds.
answer now?
Yes, please just don't make it personal, bro, because I literally was asking about an
Okay,
argument
well,
that I've heard you make.
me
That's
and a
all.
few others, when you asked the question, it sounded personal as opposed to just a broad question. So I'm gonna say that first.
Uh-huh.
Now to answer your question, the reason is the question that you just asked me didn't say
Mm-hmm.
anything about the one word that we're talking about.
What?
Pen. Goods don't come out. Goods come out every once in a blue. Mook come out every once in a blue. I said I feel like
I didn't
Jazz is.
mention
Hold
pin
on, let me. Why
specifically.
can't I finish? I
Go
just let
ahead.
you
Go
ask
ahead.
the
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like Jazz is better than you bitches strictly because she's just better than you bitches. This not talking about Penn. This not talking about how many times she battled. Nothing. The argument between Daylight and Tay Rock, we're completely just talking about their pins. It don't matter if like we're not talking about how many times somebody comes out. We're just talking about who writes better or who puts together better material. So when you pop up and say, oh, well, what makes Jazz any different than Daylight? What makes them different is we're not talking about
I
Jazz's
said, what
pen
was the
because
difference in
I
the
think
argument?
40
And there you
bars can
go.
because I
Was the
think 40
pen?
bars can write around like I think 40 bars is pen is
No,
better
no,
than
no. All you had to
Jazz's.
do was
I
say it
think
was the pen
certain women's
argument. I
pen
heard you.
is better
I
than
came in where I
Jazz's.
came in. I hear you.
Yeah, you
That's all
joined
I'm
a little
saying.
late.
Right.
So,
I
sir,
came in and that's why I asked you. I didn't come in talking crazy about nobody. I asked you. You jumped out the window because I've taken a loss to Jazz like I was being shady. I asked
No,
you a
I didn't
question.
jump out the
now
No,
I
no, no,
will
window.
no,
It
no.
was
say
the
It's
way
it's
40.
we're
cool.
on
If
the
if
spaces.
you had been
All a
here from
person
the
can go
jump,
off of is context.
Right. So
If
and
I
all
say
and
yo
I can
bitch,
only
you
ask you
gonna
about
take
what
it
I've
for what I
heard thus
said.
far.
Yo
Right. I
bitch.
can only
If
ask you
you
about
say
what I've
yo
heard thus
nigga,
far.
I'ma go off what I hear. Yo nigga. So if you pull up and say a like you come on,
About
we all
wins. If
adults.
about wins. So if you specify just to me just now, like I said, about strictly about pins, I understand that. I get it. I came in and I'm hearing, okay, this argument you guys you're making basketball references and someone putting up a certain amount of games and this one only putting up one a game. So I asked a fucking question. You made it personal. I didn't
I didn't
shade
no,
make
you.
we
it
all
personal.
40. We all good. We all good.
That's
We
what
all
I'm
good.
saying.
No,
I didn't
We
you're
all
take away
good.
taking it
from your
personal.
opinion. I said when you say this about your friend Jazz or whatever, I'm trying to understand. So is it something that like it only applies to her? It was like it
Because
wasn't a
imagine,
fucking
okay, but now
it, I
imagine where I'm come from. That's like when you talking to
mhm.
somebody and they like, we talk about Midnight Madness, and somebody pull up and say, "Yo, how your little business doing?" Come on, stop it,
I didn't
40.
put
We all
little.
adults.
I
That's
didn't put. See, the
crazy.
difference is I hear
We
you,
all
and I
adults.
didn't put.
But you
I didn't put
asking me,
little in
listen,
front of it.
my mother
See,
told, listen,
that's a different
Why can't
analogy
we
it's
because I
not
be
didn't put little in front of it.
friends?
I said your
Why
friend.
can't we
I said
right.
your
be
But
friend.
friends?
listen,
Little is
Why
different.
this is
can't
Little.
we
You
be
got it, sir.
friends?
So
this
first,
is the
I
spaces
don't have
though.
the
All we
energy
can
for
go
this,
off
but
if somebody, this not text message or nothing.
Little and your friend is not the same. I hear you. You got it.
Okay, but
I'm
Jazz
not
is a
doing this.
normal like. So my
I didn't
question
say
is,
your little friend. I didn't say little. I didn't say. I said your
what's the
friend.
difference though?
Because I specified who she is to you.
Is
I
Jazz
didn't
the battle
downplay.
rapper
Little
still
is
not
downplaying
okay? So
something.
my
What's up with your
question
little business?
is
Oh,
Jazz
you
a
got a
battle
little
rapper
shirt
with or
on.
without
Oh,
being
what's
my
up with this
friend?
little? You got
It's
it.
so
You got
funny
it.
how women think women
No,
really
no,
be
no, no.
thinking they
Not women.
smarter than
Not women.
everybody.
Not women. I specifically
Is
asked you a
Jazz the battle
question.
rapper
If there
still a
was
battle rapper without being
miscommunication,
my friend?
if there was miscommunication in how you interpreted my, I get it, and I'm willing to say that. But
It
all
ain't no
that you said was
miscommunication in how
now
I
it
interpret.
is.
You
It
said it
is
how
because
you want. You're a
you
Capricorn,
made
just
it
like
seem
me.
like it
You
was some
said it how
fucking
you wanted
extra
me
shit
to
about
hear it.
Jazz, and I literally
You
was trying
said
to
it how you wanted
understand
me to hear
what
it.
was the difference in
I
analogies,
bet
my
you if you
nigga.
would have
You
said
wanted it to be
Casey
something
or
it's not.
Hustle or
You
anybody else,
wanted
you
it to
would have
be
said
something it's
my
not.
friend.
What?
What's
What
the
the fuck
difference
does
when
that
you?
Cause
have?
I'm
What's the
not your
difference
What
friend,
when
the
you're?
fuck
nigga.
does that have
What's
to
the
do with
difference when your
everything
friend?
else that was said?
Come on, bro. You could tell like you just make it feel
I
like
can't
it's still.
believe
That's
Hustle
all.
been so
You make it
quiet.
feel like it's still like you still think about it.
No, you still think about it. I asked you a question about an
Nah,
I
analogy.
don't.
come on, sir. I want to say
Hey
this just
y'all.
Well,
before we.
40 my nigga, but she pulled no 40 shit.
I
She
know
No,
pulled
no,
up.
no,
you.
no. Hold on,
I
hold on, sir, please.
She pulled up and she said, like, bro, listen, like that's like,
I
oh,
would.
like your
I'm
ex
with you.
saying,
I was
yo, how
there.
your little girlfriend doing?
No, I'll
Like it's
say
really
this,
like
sir.
that. So
I
we
see
arguing
why
about
you felt
Daylight and
like
Tay
she
Rock, and
said
then she
that.
say, yo, what's the difference
She
when
ain't
your
mean
friend
that
do it
though.
though? That's shade at regardless of how you want to every like, we only in the spaces, bro. So I can't see your face. I don't know what you talking. I didn't press the mute button, by the way. That was greedy. I can't see your face. On you saying it like that is saying it like whatever you trying to say with Daylight. Oh, but when your friend do it is cool. That's literally no difference. Come on, my nigga, we grown.
I
And
just
I don't
want
even
to.
give a fuck because it's not that serious. It ain't like I'm mad or not going to text 40 after this, but that's literally no difference. Oh, so it's cool when Jazz do it though, right? That's
No,
no
just
difference of a question. Bro, I'm 32. I know how to ask a question left, but it really mean right. That's all that's saying. So how that go for daylight, but don't go for your girl Jazz? That's what
can
that
I?
question mean.
Nah,
Who the
nah.
fuck y'all think y'all
Can I
talking
get
to?
back
Y'all
to
like
the debate?
boo
I
boo
just
the
want to
fool?
make my point before we move on to something else or other people chip in. So I just want like okay. So when you use the example like
We
okay,
grown and you
daylight just
muting everybody like kids so that you can
no
pick
I
that
sides.
just
was
said,
That's
no
not
that
oh
was
even
my
me
daughter,
funny.
40
I didn't
on
press
God that
You
mute.
was
That
got
was
it.
on
You
greedy.
God
got
that
it.
was me.
You got it.
Look, she want to be so mad and so spiteful. I hate people like
On
that.
God
Like
that was
Honey,
me
that
honey,
wasn't
you
40.
even
was just
me.
muted so that we can hear
Greedy did it.
everything that you say. That's corny.
Greedy
You
just.
got it.
Are you stupid?
I
You
muted
Greedy
because
got
there
did
was
it.
it.
like three other people
Don't.
talking too.
You
40
got it.
that was me.
Greedy, will you tell her that
It was
again?
me.
Greedy,
It
will you
was
tell her
me.
who did that? Thank you. She keeps. I ain't pressed the mute button one time, but every time she pop up, she want to talk about. See, you so. I didn't press the mute button not one time. That's greedy. What are you talking
Okay.
about?
My apologies. Do you not press it any other time? Stop making it seem like it's something that you don't do.
It is
Yo,
Like
something
stop
because you
playing with
come
me
keep
and then
saying
on.
making it
stuff
seem
that
like
is
I do something.
not.
You got it.
You
You
mad
got
as
it. What
hell up
up?
here
What?
tonight. What's
Hold
wrong?
on.
You on
Hey,
Whatever.
your
Surf.
period?
So let me say this,
You
Surf.
on your
So
period tonight?
No,
Surf,
I
when
told
you
you I was on
say,
my
"Oh
period a
my
week ago
god,"
on my birthday. It's over. The fuck? No, that was over a week ago.
So why you seem so upset? You talk about
I'm
I'm
not
pressing
upset
mute
about
buttons. I'm
anything.
not.
I literally asked you a
50,000 on my
question.
head is
40,
Came up with
I'm
a loaded
disrespect.
sorry
question.
that Jazz
No,
beat
don't
you.
be
40, I
sorry.
wish you
Don't be
could have those
sorry.
days
I'm
back.
sorry.
40.
I'm sorry
I
for
wish you could have
asking a
those days
simple
back.
question. I'm sorry
I,
for asking
I
a
wish you
question.
could have those
Dead
days
ass.
back, 40.
Let
I
me. I'm sorry for
apologize.
asking a question
Yo,
and talking
Surf.
to your
I
friend. I
take
didn't
my
say
Lux
little in front
loss.
of anything, and you
I
just
take
try to
my
make me
Lux
look
loss in
crazy saying I
stride,
said
bro.
little.
I take my 40 loss in stride, bro. It's
Nah,
over.
because you just try to make me look like a clown, like I said, little
No,
friend. I
you
didn't say
made
any of that. I
yourself.
said your
You
Oh
friend.
took the
my
time.
I
god.
said because
You
that's what
took
it
the
seemed.
time to
Yo,
stop and
yo,
say it,
yo,
and
Surf.
everybody
Listen, I
laughed.
never,
Like
I
every,
never,
it's
I
not
never
me.
said that that wasn't what it was. I literally came in and I did feel like maybe you were making an exception for your friend. I wanted to ask about it.
Yeah, you
There's
still.
not, there's no way around that. I
I'm
didn't
glad
say
you just.
little.
I'm
No,
glad
no,
you
no.
just
Hear me
admitted
out,
for
bro.
me.
Hear me out, so I can be quiet. I don't want to argue
I
with you, right?
appreciate that,
I
40. Thank
no,
you. That's
because
all
I
I
don't
wanted to
lie to
hear.
kick it. You didn't give me an
I did
opportunity to
say that
articulate
because
myself.
I thought you were making an exception for your friend.
No,
Thank you.
and
You
that's
just
how
said
I
everything
felt.
I was
That's
saying.
why. Listen, that's originally why I came into it. That's why I said it wasn't a personal attack on Jazz. It wasn't nothing. I felt as though when I came in on the back end, I felt like you could have been making an exception for your friend. It
Thank
wasn't
you.
like little Jazz or nothing. So that's what I got annoyed because I wasn't slighting Jazz. I felt as though you could have potentially have been being biased in this situation. So
And
I
that's all I
asked
was.
about
And that's all I
yeah,
was saying before we
right.
start
Listen,
arguing.
when you
I
are
was
no no
telling you
when you
that you asked me
articulated
that
it to me,
question in reference to specifically Jazz, and it had
right.
nothing to do
But
with
no,
Tay
no,
Rock
no,
or
hear me
Daylight.
out. It's hard to hear where you're coming from if I feel like you're not getting where I'm coming from. And it's like I'm not being shady towards Jazz. I'm more so being shady towards you. I feel like you're making an exception to the rule. So it had nothing to do with Jazz. Hear me out, right? And then when you specified like, yo, we're talking about pens, I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. It wasn't that literally I asked a question. I didn't accuse you of anything. I came into the situation, I asked you a question.
I don't.
I didn't
I get
accuse
you.
you of
I'm with
shit.
you 1,000. I just don't like the like because what happens is normally because I'm surf is like the title
You,
says surf bullies 40 or surf. It makes it like it plays victim when it's like oh surf. I was just asking a question, but then 10 minutes later you
no,
say
I'm like this
hold
all
on
the
wait I
time.
just let you talk. I shut up.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
makes it seems like you're playing victim and I'm doing the bullying when you say, Surf, I'm just asking you a question. I'm just asking you a question. But then 12 minutes later, you admit, oh, nah, I wasn't just asking a question. I was trying to see if you were being specific for your friend, which is all I said 12 minutes ago. I
I've
said
never got
40.
the opportunity to complete
I
myself.
said 40.
You're not
I
talking to
said
Yoshi,
40.
so I'm
You're
never
pulling
playing
up
victim.
trying to
If
be
I
you're
have the
talking about
opportunity to
Jazz
articulate
specifically.
myself, you would have heard it. That's all. Yeah. No, no. I just felt as being petty when you was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You're being smart about Jazz. Like it wasn't that's what took me to the left. Like it had nothing to do with her. I mentioned her because I felt like you were being biased because that's your
I
friend. That was
can't
the
even be
example I had
biased
to
toward
use.
Jazz because
It wasn't about Jazz. Like
she
on
doesn't even
personal
fit the
day.
pin conversation that we having. You
And
included
I
Jazz into
hear
this.
you, but I'm just telling
Yeah,
you where
you
I
pulled
came
up
in
and
and
brought
I hear
Jazz in this
you.
conversation. She not even
And
here.
I'm telling you why I did.
She not even here.
Yeah, and I'm
Y'all
telling you
battled
why
3 years ago.
I'm
40 is
telling you
over.
why I did.
Bury it.
I you keep
40
see
beats
this is this
daylight, by
and
the
this
way.
and here's
It's
where the
cool. I think
problem
about
comes
luck
because it's
sometimes
not
too. I
about
should
our
have did
battle.
better.
I simply no.
Trying to help
This
her.
is where I'm going to the left because I simply asked a question about you making an argument about Daylight and Rocka, his impact, whatever the case may be. I came in on the back end of it, so I asked a fucking question. The only reason why I mentioned Jazz is because I legitimately have heard use her as an argument as far as like she don't gotta come out like that. She's still better than you bitches. So with that argument, I came into this argument. I'm trying to feel like what would be the difference in
And
Daylight
let's
not
be
having to come
clear.
out as often as Rock and still no, hear me out, and being better than niggas. That is all I
I'm with
asked.
you.
It wasn't a
I'm with
personal
you.
dig at Jazz. It wasn't none of that. So I feel like
And let's
you
be
took it
clear, I
somewhere else. So
totally
that's
look
why I
at
got annoyed.
female battle rap different in a whole anyway. Period. It's like if you look at women's basketball and men's basketball, I'm not watching no female games and niggas is dunking, throwing alleys, none of that. A chick just got Woman of the Year last year and she had 2 battles. So first of all, it's two total different worlds anyway. So it's nothing, it's no conversations. Jazz and Daylight are two different stratospheres. 40 and Tay Rock are two different worlds anyway. A bitch could battle twice and get Woman of the Year. Woman of what year?
Mm-hmm. Woman of the female battle rap year. So I hear what you're
Again, I
saying,
just
but
don't
I
like.
just
So
asked you.
it's my opinion. That's all. It's
I hear what you're saying.
just
I'm
my
just telling
opinion.
you what I. Yeah.
Just my
Yeah.
opinion.
I'm
And
just
I
telling you what
usually
I
don't
came
jump
into
like
the.
if
I
I'm in a
just came into the
like if
conversation
I'm in the
asking.
spaces
It wasn't a dig
if I'm
at
in the
Jazz.
spaces and I jump in and
Yeah.
I
It wasn't.
don't like and they're
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes into a conversation, I probably if I don't know
Mm-hmm.
the left or the right, I probably won't. I mean, I'll ask a question a little less seeming like
See,
I'm.
that's the difference with me and you. I asked a question because I didn't know. I didn't come at you
I didn't say
accusing
you
you of
accused
nothing.
me of
I feel as
anything.
though
Your
I don't know.
question just
Yeah. No, I didn't say you did. I said what I did. I know how to make I statements. I didn't say you did anything. I said I came into the situation. I was on the back end of the conversation, so I asked
and I'm
a
cool with
question.
that.
Now
I'm
I don't
cool
know.
with that.
No,
It's just it's
I
multiple
don't know if
people
it came
listening.
off the
40.
wrong
So
way.
a few besides
I
me, surf
I hear
aside,
you.
when
I
people
don't
heard
know.
that,
I
it
hear you,
sounded
but
like you were
you're the one
shading
who's
Jazz.
answering.
I could
You
show you a DM right now,
and
like
I don't
what's the hate towards
listen. That's
Jazz?
what you say because you heard it, but there's nothing that I said about her
I'm not
outside of her
saying that
being
you
your
did,
friend.
Carlisa.
I didn't even no, I hear you.
Your
What I'm
question
telling
could
you
have been
is
taken
that's
wrong.
how and I clearly were saying the same thing. I said if it was perceived wrong, I get it, but never once did I say anything. This wasn't about Jazz. I
So
never
can
said
I ask you a
little friend
question?
Jazz. I said your friend.
So
I
why
said
didn't
your
you use
friend. I didn't say
Gaddis?
little in
She
front of
only
it
battle every once in a blue.
because Surf. Listen, Surf. I never heard you make an argument for Gaddish. You're not
But it's
listening to me.
other
I heard
battlers that don't
you're not
battle
okay.
that
Again,
much.
clearly you're not getting what I'm saying. I use Jazz as an example because I've heard you make an example as far as Jazz not having to come out this often and still being better than people. When I came into this
Shayna better than a
conversation,
lot of
I
people
was under
too.
the
She don't
impression
come out either.
I was I was I was under the impression that
Yo,
the
Surf, I'm done
conversation
with you.
was you're not listening. You clearly not like like whatever. But you got it. Because I just told you and you're not listening. Either you don't
I
want to listen or
heard
you don't give a
everything
fuck.
you
Like
said, and I said I agree.
okay,
What you
so
want me to
you want to
say?
keep asking me this question
40, just
because
tell him
Jazz
you
is the
beat
only
Daylight.
Jazz. I just told you, Jazz is the only person that I've heard you make an argument that she doesn't have to come out as often and she's better than people. That's what I thought the argument was about. That's what I asked you, bro. Not that
It's
serious.
never that
That's
serious.
why
Like it's never that serious.
I never heard you argue about Gaddis or Shane or anybody else. I asked that.
I heard you when you said it the first time when you told me what you asked. I got you. I
Okay.
got you. I told you how I felt
Okay.
about this. I don't want to get you started
Good.
back up.
Like as long as we're on the same
We is
page.
on the
As long
same
as we're on the
page. I
same
felt
page.
like you how I
Okay.
felt. I still feel like that, but I still love you.
We got a
And
hand. Can we
and
take
you're
a
entitled
question,
to that.
sir?
Of course.
I'm way too articulate to misconstrue, so
So
Suede,
you're
you've
you
been
say
entitled to that.
waiting ever
how
so
you saying
patient.
you way
Never
too
mind.
articulate to misconstrue,
Because I
but
never said
multiple
anything
people
shady about Jazz.
misconstrued you
There's
though.
nothing shady I said about Jazz for you to
But
feel like that.
multiple people
So if you
misconstrued
took that
you.
for that, who? Because you're the only one who's been fucking talking.
That's
Who?
not because you 40
Who?
bars. You think of
Who the fuck
what?
misconstrued me?
Who else
Because
could
nobody
speak
else has
up
been allowed to
besides Surf?
talk.
What fan
Who?
about to sit here and argue with 40 bars? I'm going to remove them. Or
Nobody has to argue with me. Click somebody on your peers and ask
nobody's going
them.
to. You don't really want to do this,
You
40.
speaking for
Do
everybody
anybody
or
feel like
nobody
Jazz was
speaking?
getting drop a 100 if you
You just
felt
said
like your
other
little
people feel
friend
that way.
Jazz or your
Then you
friend
just say they don't
Jazz?
want to speak
Like
up.
not even being
Which one
funny.
is it?
Because 40, you
No,
think you're
we're
the
not running the
you're not the
semantics
smartest
with
person in
me.
the world,
Either you
bro.
know people who are upset or you don't. You speaking for them or not. That's what I'm saying.
First of all, while we're arguing, there's only 6 people speaking up here, and we're more entertainment than talk. Which one of these fans is about to jump in here and get in between us and say anything? That's one. Period. It's 40 and Surf.
So how are you? So
I literally just said
my
to you,
guy.
somebody.
How are
I
you
literally,
speaking
if
for
you
them,
was
saying
doing
that they
less
could have continued as
talking and
is?
list, I literally just said to you, somebody literally just
Sir, you
DM'd and
have
said
it
it.
to
I'll
win. You are the
screenshot it and
king of
send
the
you to your
spaces.
phone.
I am not arguing with you
I'll
on here.
screenshot
I'm
it
not
and send
arguing
you
with
to
you. You
your
got it.
phone. Somebody literally just
You got it.
DM'd and said she sounds like she's shading Jazz. Multiple, like what do
And
you?
do you think that matters to me? Because people are DMing to me saying Surf just talks to
No,
talk. Do you want
no,
me to
I
go back on
don't.
my
But you
face?
said, how are you? You said I'm
So
too
that means
intelligent to be
nothing to me. If that
misconstrued.
person
But I'm
doesn't,
telling you, multiple people
I just
misconstrued you.
listen. All I'm saying is that person could feel how they want. I
All
just
right,
told you
so it's
how I
more.
felt.
It's
I told
just
you
let you
how I
know, it's
came in.
multiple
I didn't
people
come
that
in with
felt
no
like it
smoke.
wasn't like
Look at,
that,
I didn't come in. I hear you, but what I'm saying is I didn't come in with no smoke for you. I didn't come in no smoke for
and we
Jazz. I
appreciate
just
that you
clearly
didn't. 40.
articulate
Thanks.
right. So so if someone is DMing you, I have no control over
No,
that. All I can say is what I said,
right,
right?
and now
All
they
I can say is what
understand
I
that you
said,
didn't.
and that's
That
that.
was just me being your friend,
If
the
they're
friend that we are,
if they're
and told you
remedial,
people
that's on
misconstrued
them.
you.
That's on them.
So now, if somebody
Catch
don't
up.
understand what you're saying, they're remedial.
They're remedial. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. I'm just this is
That's nuts.
sorry. It
That's what I
is.
mean about that.
Like
Back to that daylight conversation and that Tay Rock conversation, Greedy. You get what I'm saying? It's like if somebody
Let's
doesn't
go.
understand what he's saying, imagine him saying, If you don't get me, you're stupid." That's
But
not.
you at least, or I at least would hope, I know what he's saying.